From the Pontiac Silverdome, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Michigan High School Athletic Association State Football Championships. Up next, the Class B title tilt between the Vikings of Marysville and the Flivvers, F-L-I-V-V-E-R-S, the Flivvers of Kingsford. I'm Mark Crawford, joined as always by the old coach, Bill Brandell. William, interesting ball game for folks coming up here. Two teams that run the old wing T.
Mark, it really does make an interesting matchup. Normally the wing T is a very potent offense, and that's displayed by the numbers that these two teams put up. They both score about 30 points a ball game. But in this situation, they both run the wing T, so the defenses, they get to see that offense every day. Should be interesting. Which defense is going to be able to handle the wing T?
You stick with us. Kingsford and Marysville coming up for the Class B title. Kingsford and Marysville set to go at it for the Class B state championship. There are the five Zebras working this game: Kroll, Yipma, Berkman, Sarakman, and Postma. Crew out of the Grand Rapids area. Three of them from Wyoming, one from Whitehall, one from Kent City. The Flivvers of Kingsford in their blue uniforms, trimmed in gold, will be receiving to start the football game. That's the Vikings of Marysville to boot it away. Berger sends it low. It's bouncing on the field near the 35. There's a pileup, and looks like Kingsford has possession. Will start 1st and 10. Good field position at their own 35. Both these clubs come in 11-1 as you look at the Kingsford offense across the line. Some great names on this Flivver team. And the backs there: Novara, Rakitic, Thibodeau, and Bjork. 1st and 10. Little juggling act with the football, but Mike Rakitic is forward for about 3. It'll be 2nd down and 7.
And once again, Mark, maybe a few early game jitters as Rakitic comes up into the line on the first play. Didn't have a real good handle on the ball, but maintained control as he was hit by the defense and hung on, picked up about 3 yards.
Just underway from the Silverdome, Kingsford and Marysville. Kingsford Flivvers try Rakitic again, and he has a yard or two before he is snowed under. Marysville tackle made by Ryan Bauer, the 6'3", 185-pound senior. There is the defense. The front 5 for Marysville. Linebackers: Ryan Bauer was all-league couple years in a row, and the defensive backs. 3rd down, still almost 5 facing Kingsford on the initial possession of this game. Novara, the lefty, was going to throw, finally does dump it off, incomplete. And it's 4th down and punt time for Kingsford.
Well, he had a receiver out there. Greg Bjork was in the area, but quarterback Mark Novara elects to kind of dump the ball down to the turf, and you'll see he finds an open spot there, but no flag called. Good call, good no call by the official. Brings up that 4th down, about 5.
Scott Fletcher, number 30, is back in punt formation. Will stand at about his own 27-yard line for Kingsford. Good snap, and a great kick is away. Fielded back at about the 25-yard line by Marysville's Dave Berger. And he's forward for 3 or 4 yards with it. 1st and 10 for the Vikings of Marysville at their own 29. Marysville, like Kingsford, is 11-1. Champions of the St. Clair Area League. There is that front wall for the Vikings. And the skill players, Delore and Delore, are brothers. Ryan Greenwood, the leading rusher for this club. They'll throw on 1st down. Incomplete, intended for Tyler Clayton out in the flats. It'll be 2nd down 10. Both of these clubs prefer to run the football. In fact, have run for well over 200 yards a game. Kingsford's defense. Bjork, the linebacker there. Leading tackler. And Rakitic, all Upper Peninsula, we're told, as a defensive back. Ball is loose on the inside. And looks like Ben Delore, the junior quarterback, came up with it. Third down. I don't know, jitters, Coach, you think?
Well, I think so. A little mishandling of the ball early. I'm not sure that Ben Delore ever got a real good grip on the ball. He was able to cover the ball as it was down on the turf. So the Vikings maintain possession down there, but brings up a third and about 9 yards. Long yardage on the first third down of this ball game.
Vikings want to throw and will get rid of it. All kinds of pressure from Kingsford. Incomplete, fourth down and punt. Folks, had a quick look there on the sidelines, Bill, just before that play at the legendary Walt Braun, the head football coach at Marysville. 28 seasons at the school, 227 victories. There he is.
Well, he is a legend in the game, been around a long time, and an excellent coach, very successful.
Marysville will punt. That's Dennis Delore back. Pressure's coming, and he just did get it away. Fair catch is signaled for, and I guess you'd say is made at about the 42-yard line. Mike Rakitic, fair catch on the fly, lost it for a moment, got a fortuitous bounce back up into his hands.
Well, that's the kind that make coaches get gray hair or no hair at all, Mark, as you and I know. Makes you nervous.
Flivvers go on offense, 1st and 10. They'll start at their own 43. This ball game closes out the first day of football championship action here at the Silverdome. And some great games. Portland St. Pat won the Class D crown. Reeves Puffer the A title. And Traverse City St. Francis has grabbed the C championship. Jason Gendron goes up the middle. Little counter play is forward for a yard or two. Going to be 2nd down and still about 8.
Well, an interesting situation in this game, Mark. The Marysville Vikings will play 2 complete units, and you would think that that would make them a little bit better rested at the end of the ball game, but the Flivvers rotate their key positions, and they kind of run 2 platoons offensively, so their people are rested also.
Mike Olson jarred in the backfield and driven down, no gain. It'll be 3rd down and long.
And interesting already, Mark, as we watch these two teams kind of spar at each other a little bit early. Lots of faking in the backfield. That's the wing T offense, but neither defense fooled as of yet. We've been mentioning the fact that they look at this every day in practice, so it's going to be interesting to see which defense will break down first.
3rd down, let's call it 9, facing Kingsford. Navarro wants to throw, busts it up the middle, and depending on the mark, looks like he's got the 1st down. Mark Navarro forced out of the pocket by a great pass rush. And the big 6', 205-pound senior makes it go for the 1st down.
Well, Kurt Sherrill will come in to make the tackle, number 66. Gets him around the ankles and brings him down, but not before Mark Navarro leans forward, gets that positive body diving for the 1st down yardage. First down of our ball game.
Football is carried into Marysville territory. Mark it down at the 46 of Marysville. 1st and 10, Kingsford. Dive back is Jason Gendron, and again hit at the line, knocked down, and Gendron is up and limping.
Great bit of defensive work right in the middle by the front line for the Vikings of Marysville. Aaron Thomas is at the nose, Kurt Sherrill at a tackle, Kelly Martin at a tackle. Marthin, I believe it is, Kelly Marthin.
6:40 and counting. Still to play here, first quarter from the Silverdome. Class B state championship game, Marysville and Kingsford. We are scoreless. This is Rakitic trying to turn the corner, and boy, there's just nothing there. Maybe a yard. Make it 3rd down 9.
Well, Jeremy Russell from a cornerback position staying home, and this is one of the keys for the defense for both of these clubs tonight. With all of the faking and deception from the wing T offense, you have to teach your defensive players to stay home. Usually very hard to do for ball clubs. Once again, we're beating this to death, but these two clubs just have seen this day after day.
Navarro, the quarterback, a 60% completion mark this year when he passes, but instead they'll try it right side and not find much of anything. Maybe the line of scrimmage. Ball carrier, I think, was Bjork, number 31. Yep. And there's just nothing there.
And John Wright from his linebacker spot diving over one of his teammates to make the tackle. Good solid shoulder smack.
They're going to say loss of a yard, make it 4th and 10, and Kingsford will punt. Fletcher stands at his own 40 to boot it away. Got away a great kick last time. This one's lower. Will bounce. That might be off the Marysville player and going to be marked at the 7-yard line, and maybe Kingsford football. No, it's not, say the officials. Did not touch Marysville.
Well, we'll probably get a chance to see that one again, but it obviously was not going to be a score by any means, as if it was touched by a Marysville player, well, it would be a muff, and we have learned earlier today you cannot advance the muff. And hard to tell from that shot right there whether the ball did touch the Marysville player, but there you can see one of the cover men, Brian Charney from no, it's from
Ben
Kingsford.
Willis.
I'm sorry, Ben Willis from Kingsford tried to advance it, couldn't do it.
In any case, great punt down at about the 7-yard line, so Marysville starts in a hole. And on first down, they don't dig out of it much. Back to the line of scrimmage and not much more. 2nd and still about 10. Bill Brandell, you predicted in the open the defenses might well dominate, and so far here in the first quarter, that's been the story. Ben Delore, the junior quarterback, leads them up. 2 tight ends. They try option left, and Delore is hit in the backfield by Mark Navarra. Is taken down, loss of 2.
And the defense is once again just not buying any of these fakes, as you see the fake to the dive back and then to Ben Delore trying to get to the outside on the option. Nowhere to go. Great bit of defense there.
And it'll be 3rd down and 12. Marysville, if they're going to throw, will be doing it from their own end zone. Chris Hofer is the young head coach at Kingsford, 29-year-old in his 6th season. 48 wins, 16 losses with the program. 3rd and long. They'll run right side and maybe back to the original line of scrimmage. And nothing more. It'll be 4th down, and Marysville will punt from the end zone.
And some great defense once again. This time it's Chris Cook from a defensive end spot that steps inside his blocker, makes great contact with the ball carrier, drives him to the turf. Brings up that 4th and 10 situation. The Vikings pinned deep in their own end of the field, need to come up with a big punt here.
Well, the Flivvers have been getting the better of field position on each exchange of the punt, and look to get it in pretty good shape here. Delore punts from his own end zone, gets away a good one. Rakitic fields it and carries it down to about the 30, where Kingsford will start in super field position. Well, this game kicks off our 2nd week of high school football championship coverage here on Pro-Am Sports. Tomorrow night at 8 p.m. you can catch the Class Double D final between Lakeland and Hubble and Sand Creek, followed by the Class AA championship between Detroit Catholic Central and Saginaw Arthur Hill at 7:30 p.m. Thursday night at 7:30, it's the Class Double D finals pitting Montague against St. Martin de Porres. And then Saturday, Double B with Oxford and Grand Rapids Kenaway Hills at 4 p.m. Stay with us again this week as the best in high school championship sports coverage continues here on Pass.
Well, that play, Mark, had the fullback, Don Thibodeau, going right up the middle and unable to move forward as he just ran into a big stack right in the center of the field, anchored by Aaron Thomas at the nose position for the Vikings.
Second down, still 10, facing Kingsford. Novara, the quarterback, gives off, and I'll tell you, it looked for a minute like Thibodeau had somewhere to go, and suddenly he was going backwards.
Boy, Mark Kaza this time from a defensive end position. You see him come back into the picture. It's not Kaza. I'm sorry. It was from the linebacker spot, I believe. Anyway, great defense, Mark, as the Vikings once again just sniff it out.
I think it was Ryan Bauer. Third down 9, facing Kingsford. They'll throw out in the flats and complete to LeBlanc. Inside the 15, down to the 14. First down, Kingsford. Novara to Andy LeBlanc, who'd caught 17 passes this year, make it 18 now. And the Flivvers are in business, 1st and 10. Bill, tell folks, what is a flivver anyway?
Well, a flivver is an antique automobile. An antique Model A or Model T Ford normally, but an antique car.
Right side, Rakitic, and
boy, John Wright once again from that linebacker spot comes flying over people, bodies stacked up there at the line, makes great contact once again as Mike Rakitic comes up in the air, and he is met solidly by John Wright.
Second down, about 9. Two clubs that simply rolled up offense on the ground this year are finding it very tough going on the ground tonight. Novara wants to throw, now keeps, and will fight down to about the 10, a gain of 3. It'll be 3rd and 6. You see we're counting down. 30 seconds left to play here in this first quarter.
And a fast quarter it is, as both teams electing to run the ball, on most cases trying to just probe somewhere on those defenses, find some holes. They've been hard to come by so far.
John Beatty, number 62, the senior center, leads Kingsford up on 3rd down 6. Right side fumble, picked up by Rakitic. And that might have gained him another yard or 2, but they're still short of the first down as the quarter ends. There you'll see it again. Bjork, I don't know, did he pitch it or fumble it?
I thought for a minute it was a pitch, and now I see it again. I think he might have been trying to get the ball out to Mike Rakitic.
In any case, quarter ends. 0-0 Kingsford and Marysville. This is the MHSAA on Pass. Mark Crawford, Bill Brandell back with you at the Dome to start quarter number 2. Dave Raish drills the field goal from 24 yards. And Kingsford, there is Raish. Kingsford out front here 3-0. Well, a little razzle-dazzle. Football's loose on the turf for a moment, but Marysville keeps possession.
My potential disaster there, as you described, Mark. Little reverse handoff there on the kickoff return. The Vikings living dangerously as the ball fell to the turf, but they were able to recover, and they'll start this offensive possession at their 24-yard line.
That's Ben Delore, number 11, the junior quarterback for Marysville, leads his club out. They'll go right side, and that's as much room as they've seen in this ball game. Ryan Greenwood, I believe, on the carry, number 20. And he finds 3-4 yards out across the 25, near the 28 with it. And it'll be 2nd down and about 6.
Andy LeBlanc, I believe, on the stop over there, coming up from a defensive back position.
Well, two programs that are certainly used to playing in the MHSAA playoffs. Marysville, 7th time qualifier. Kingsford has been in the playoffs 3 years in a row. Right side, first down yardage. Ryan Greenwood.
A flag came in marked late. We'll have to see what this one brings up, but once again, some good yardage to the offensive right side by the Vikings. They have found a little seam over there. Ryan Greenwood covering up the ball, both arms as he headed up through traffic.
Face mask, says Dennis Kroll, our referee. Ross Dingwall here working stats for us. Ross, that's the first down for Marysville, isn't it? First one, yep. And they'll get a second one right after on the face mask. March the football across midfield and down to the 48 of Kingsford. 1st and 10, Marysville Vikings. Well, they got a pile of players up at the line now. Kingsford has 7 men on the line of scrimmage. Wide open in the secondary, and dropping the football is Ryan Greenwood.
Oh, Ryan Greenwood behind the secondary for the Kingsford Flivvers. He was wide open. Ben Delore delivers the ball right on the money. And here you can see the receiver, Ryan Greenwood, looks back, has it in his hands, juggles it tantalizingly. He can't quite get it into the turf. It falls incomplete. Woo!
Sometimes it's just too easy.
Oh my goodness.
2nd down 10 for Marysville. Tell you that it might shake up the Kingsford defense a little bit though right there.
Well, they have been putting 8-10 people right up at the line of scrimmage. About a 6-man front with a couple of linebackers and then cornerbacks up tight. And that might loosen you up a little bit.
Delore to the dive back, brother Dennis Delore. Good yardage, looks like another first down inside the 40 and down near the 37, where it should be 1st and 10.
Well, nice bit of blocking up front. Nice seam. Dennis Delore, 5'10", 220 pounds, a senior, uses that nice blocking, finds a seam, and just plows right up straight ahead for the first down.
Same play. Dennis Delore again up the middle, has 3 or 4 yards. Dennis Delore, one of 2,000-yard rushers for Marysville. Ryan Greenwood came into the game with 1,328 yards. Delore 1,032. Younger brother Ben Delore, the quarterback, has 493 rushing yards coming in. This is a club that's run for over 300 yards a game. 2nd down 6. No time. Flags are flying as Ben Delore is sacked. Loss of 1 or 2. And the place that flag was tossed usually indicates holding.
Well, Chris Cook on the stop, but the flag's going to march them back as the Vikings begin to retreat a little bit here.
A boy, a ball, a dream. Watch the drama of the 1993 MHSAA Boys Basketball Finals unfold by attending this year's finals at the Palace of Auburn Hills on March 27th. Public sale of tickets begins March 1st through the Palace box office and at Ticketmaster outlets statewide. And if you have never been to the boys basketball finals at the Palace, there's some fun.
Boy, that is a great day. A full day, but it is one of the finest days in high school athletics. Great facility and, of course, great basketball in the state of Michigan.
2nd down 19 now facing Marysville. And a little toss in the flats to Greenwood, has some room. Busting tackles inside the 25 down to the 22. 1st down yardage.
Well, a great play as the screen is set up. Ben Delore draws the defense over to his offensive left, turns and throws back to the right side, finds Ryan Greenwood. Ryan Greenwood with some room and then some nifty running of his own as he eludes a few tacklers, drags one along with him, and picks up the 1st down. Nice offensive play by the Vikings.
Kingsford 3, Marysville nothing, but it's Marysville on the march. 1st and 10. Right side, that's Greenwood, who hurdles over the line and forward for a yard or two. Stop is made by Greg Bjork, number 31, the fine linebacker for Kingsford. Both these clubs come in with one loss on their season. Kingsford lost in week 4 to Green Bay Notre Dame. Marysville lost in the 6th week to Jackson Lumen Christi. And you saw our clock counting down, about 8.5 still to play in the first half. Greenwood, I think, wanted to throw, but there's too much pressure.
I think you're right, Mark. Ryan Greenwood took that handoff and began to retreat immediately. There was defensive pressure from Chris Cook once again, who got an ankle of Greenwood. But I think that Greenwood may have been trying to look downfield and find a receiver. Good bit of defensive work. Big loss on the play. Brings up 3rd and about 16.
Ben DeLore in trouble again, finds Greenwood in the flats, and I tell you what a nice bit of running by Greenwood, and what a super job by Ben DeLore just getting that pass off.
Well, it's like an instant replay on this series. We saw that play run twice, Mark. This time it goes all the way for a touchdown as Ben DeLore comes to his offensive left side, then spins around, and this time in the arms of a tackler is able to deliver the ball to Ryan Greenwood behind a screen, and then Ryan Greenwood does it on his own once past that wave of defenders that had been over there, and he's on into the end zone and gets 6 points on the board for the Vikings.
Dave Berger is on and drills the extra point through. Marysville has a 7-3 lead. One of your network sponsors is Big Boy Restaurants.
You're about to see graphic scenes from Big Boy that may not be suitable for all viewers.
Mark Crawford, Bill Brandell, glad you're with us. Kingsford and Marysville are battling for the Class B State Football Championship. It's 7-3. Marysville out front. Kingsford has the football after the kickoff. 1st and 10 from their own 34. There's the great one, Walt Braun, the Marysville head football coach. And here comes Kingsford. Mark Novara, number 7, the lefty quarterback, gives off right up the middle. Don Thibodeau has 2 or 3. It'll be 2nd down, still about 8. One of the state's great prep sports spectacles is the MHSAA Lower Peninsula Individual Wrestling Finals. This year, fans attending the Class A and B finals at the Kellogg Arena can avoid the traditional battle for a view by purchasing a reserved seat for the 2 days of action. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster outlets statewide. Novara guns it over the middle.
Oh, John Wright.
Down by Wright.
John Wright from his linebacker spot had the ball right in his chest, I believe, almost embedded here. He wanted to run with that one, and he just was not able to recognize that the pass was right there that quick. Good defense once again.
Well, Mark Novara has a gun there for an arm, and you're right, he just threw it so hard the defensive player didn't have time to react. 3rd down long. Novara wants to throw, has a little time. Not anymore. Well, the teams have been relentless with the pressure.
The ball came flying out there, but quarterback Mark Novara was marked down before the ball popped out. Once again, Mark, as you said, great defensive pressure that time as the Vikings had on a little deal up front, a stunt by the linebackers. They twisted with their defensive tackles and came up inside. The defensive ends from the outside, just no place for Mark Novara to go.
And Kingsford will punt again. Boy, good, strong kick. Fair caught, dropped, and we'll have to wait and see. Jeremy Russell, the man on the return for Marysville, had it for a moment, lost it. And it's Kingsford who comes up with the loose football.
Well, the Flivvers with a little bit of help here by way of the muffed punt. There you can see the ball's being kind of kicked around. It's anybody's ball. Then there's a jam pile of players, most of them in the yellow and blue uniforms, and that's the Flivvers, and they end up with it.
Well, numbers certainly count when you're in a pile trying to get a loose football, huh? Here comes Kingsford, 1st and 10 from the 42 of Marysville. A trail 7-3. Rakitic, the young man who they call the Rack, might have 2 yards. He's just inside the 40 where it's 2nd and 8.
Well, and Mike Rakitic did most of that on his own, as the original place where he wanted to go was well occupied by a bunch of Marysville Vikings, but he was able to find a little seam and squeeze forward, picked up about 2.
Very fast-moving football game. Only 5:15 still to play first half. Novara waits and waits, it seems, for Greg Bjork, who finally comes around on the counter, and maybe a yard or 2. The defenses, Bill, as you suggested, just are not fooled by this offense.
Well, they're just doing an excellent job of staying home. Defensive end that time, Marysville's Skip Willoughby shed a blocker, stayed right at home, and was able to peel back to the inside in order to make the tackle.
Jim Belinsky was there for Marysville as well. 3rd down. We'll call it 6. Facing the Flivvers. Blitz is coming. Novara's chased around and finally bounces it to a receiver. It's incomplete. Well, neither quarterback has been able to drop back and set up. They've been scrambling around with the defenses coming. And it is 4th down, still 6. And we'll see if this is 4-down territory for the Flivvers. Football is, as you can see, at the 38-yard line of Marysville. Coming up at the half, we will see both of the bands from Kingsford and Marysville. We got a little chance to see them before the game, and they are both very good-looking bands. So you'll enjoy that. They'll go on 4th. Novara has an outlet. Rakitic, he breaks 1 tackle and has the 1st down.
Well, some good hard running by Rakitic this time after he makes really an excellent catch. The ball thrown behind him by Mark Novara. Here's Novara. He's going to scramble now with the defensive pressure. Delivers the ball, but you can see Rakitic had to wait for it, and it was thrown behind him. Now he eludes a tackler and then just powers his way, and it's that last little bit of a surge, Mark, that got him the 1st down.
Mark the football at the 31 of Marysville. 1st and 10 Kingsford. Flags fly before the play.
And that'll be encroachment, I'm sure, on the part of the defense for the Vikings. That will set up Kingsford with a 1st and 5, I believe.
Somebody stepped into that neutral zone.
Exactly. Defensive player on this end of the line. In high school football, you cannot move into that neutral zone. Once you penetrate, the play is automatically dead and the penalty yards are marked off.
Kingsford out of the Great Northern Conference. Marysville, the St. Clair Area League. Both of them league champions. And battling for the Class B state crown. Been a good game so far, dominated by the defenses. Thibodeau is inside the 25 and down near the 23, where it'll be 2nd down and about 2. Plenty of time on the clock. It shows 3:30 still to play before half.
Well, Thibodeau with good size from that fullback position. 224-pound senior. Powers up in there pretty good.
Novara. Same man, Thibodeau, and boy, there are 3 white jerseys. And as soon as they stack him up, one of them holds him and 2 of them go for the football.
Well, he got up to just about where the first down marker is, we'll probably get a measurement here. But watch Thibodeau. He's a solid young man, but good tackling position. And now watch the white jerseys come after the ball as the posse arrives and tries to strip it away.
We will get a measurement. Rob Kaminsky is here working with us in the booth, and we appreciate all his efforts today. Spent a little time with Rob's wife, Brooke, up in the press box during the last game. She's enjoying the day. First down. So the Flivvers are on the march. They trail Marysville 7-3. But are 21 yards away from retaking the lead. And the officials say, hang on, as Marysville decides to call a timeout and talk about things. Stops the clock with 2:45 still to play first half. 7-3 Marysville. One of your network sponsors is True Value Hardware. Kingsford from the 21 of Marysville. And Rakitic dives inside the 20.
Little inside counter that time by Mike Rakitic as he comes back to his offensive right side. Once again, the defense staying home where they belong. Dave Berger that time from a defensive position, waiting right there as Rakitic came back in his direction. That's good coaching, Mark, and that's being used to seeing a lot of deception out of a wing T offense.
Second down and 8 facing Kingsford. Rakitic again spins and fights down near the 15, gain of 3 more. It'll be third down, still about 4. The yards come grudgingly, and the clock marches down inside 2 minutes to play.
John Wright on the stop that time from that linebacker spot, along with Dave Berger once again. Berger at a cornerback position.
The game, Bill, has really quieted the crowd.
It has been a quiet crowd, and we have a nice crowd in the Silverdome this evening, especially on the far side, Mark.
Novara to Rakitic. Boy, he's near the first down. Going to depend on the mark. I think they're going to mark him outside the 11. The line to make is just inside the 11, so he may be just short.
Well, Ryan Bauer there to make the stop, and it looked to me for a moment like there was a lot of running room in there.
He is short. It's fourth down. And let's see. From the 11-yard line, will they go or kick? They will go. Clock is still moving. Just 55 seconds left here in this first half. The Flivvers have all 3 timeouts left. They're forward and have the first down.
Well, the official marks the ball just inside the 10-yard line, and that's plenty for the first down. They only had to get inside the 11. But you're right, Mark. The clock down to 44 seconds now. And the Flivvers find themselves 9 yards away from the end zone.
Not only down to 44 seconds, it's still running.
It's still running.
Down to 35 seconds as they go first and goal. Novara gives it to Rakitic, who fights back to the line of scrimmage. Nothing more. Timeout Kingsford with 25 seconds left here in the first half.
Oh, good defensive play by Aaron Thomas from the nose position. He's 5'8" and 180 pounds, a senior. He kind of snuck through underneath that time and was able to bring Rakitic down.
Going to be second down goal for Kingsford. And the Flivvers have 25 seconds in which to move the football just about 10 yards to take the halftime lead. Wide outs to both sides of the field. Bjork to one side, LeBlanc to the other. They'll gun it over the middle.
I think it's intercepted, Mark.
I think it is intercepted. You had to wait, but Dave Berger took it on a deflection off the offensive player.
Well, it hit Chris Pietriotanio, I think, right in the chest. And as we've been saying, Mark Navarro's got a gun for an arm. Watch the ball if you can see it. You can't see it come off Pietriotanio's chest, but it bounces out of there and it's intercepted.
I tell you what, I think it bounced up into Berger's hands. He was bobbling it when he fell, and the fact that he fell on top of Pietriotanio is the only thing that kept him from dropping it. In any case, Marysville thwarts Kingsford, has it back, and unless the Flivvers or Marysville decide to call a timeout, that might do it right there.
Well, the Vikings dodge a bullet by way of the interception in the end zone.
And we have zeros on the scoreboard clock, which means we have reached the half. Marysville 7, Kingsford 3. This is the MHSAA on Pass. Band is on the field here at halftime. You see our score. I'm Mark Crawford, joined as always by the old coach, Bill Brandell. And William, you said in our pregame that since both these teams run the same offense, the wing T, neither defense necessarily going to be fooled, and that's been the case.
Well, it certainly was in the first quarter as both teams kind of probed each other with their running games, traded punts back and forth. Marysville really kind of figured things out, I think, sooner than did Kingsford and started to move the ball. And they got a touchdown on the board late in that first quarter, early second quarter. Then Kingsford kind of came to life on the recovery of a muffed punt, and they began to get their offense going. So as we finished this first half of play, both teams beginning to move the ball.
All right, 7-3 is our score. The bands are coming up. One of your network sponsors is Health Alliance Plan. Marysville Viking Marching Band is on the field. Let's listen in. Your network sponsors is Farm Bureau Insurance. Marysville leads Kingsford 7-3 at the half, and the Kingsford Flivver Marching Band has taken the field, and we'll listen in. the Class B State Football Championship. Marysville 7, Kingsford 3. Second half is upcoming. One of your network sponsors is Big Boy Restaurants. As we get set to start the third quarter of play, two high-powered running teams that have not been able to run the football. And so the big play in this one, Bill, has been a pass.
And here it is once again in this drive. This same play twice was for big yardage. Ben DeLore to Ryan Greenwood down the sidelines into the end zone. The only touchdown in this contest so far put on the board by Marysville as they lead it 7-3.
Only about 125 yards in total offense, 30 of it right there on the touchdown. And our score is 7-3. Marysville is out front. Kingsford is back on the field now and getting set to warm up. They'll add 3 minutes to the scoreboard clock. Marysville not yet on the field, but despite having run through all the halftime time, they now put 3 minutes on the clock and allow both teams plenty of time to warm up. A lot of X's and O's probably in the locker rooms at the half, and we will find out more about that when we return. This is the MHSAA on Pass. As we approach the start of the second half, and Bill Brandell, any guess about locker room conversation at the half?
Well, you can rest assured, Mark, that the offensive coordinators for these two squads are the gentlemen that occupied most of the time. As you've already mentioned, according to our halftime stats, both teams really slowed down by way of the running game, and they're used to getting about 300 yards a ball game, averaging 2.2 yards per carry for the Vikings and just 1.5 for those Flivvers. So the offensive coordinator, a few X's and O's, as you said, trying to figure out where those defensive people are going to be and how to block them. So I'm sure that's where the majority of the time was spent.
Only scoring in this football game, Marysville, a 24-yard field goal. Dave Raish, Kingsford, I'm sorry, Marysville answered with the 29 or 30-yard touchdown pass we showed you a minute ago. Ben DeLore to Ryan Greenwood. And that's where we stand at the half, 7-3, Marysville out front. There's Chris Hofer, one of the fine young football coaches in the state of Michigan. 6 years, and he's already cranked out 48 victories. The last 3 years, his program 33-4.
Well, he's got them rolling, and as we mentioned, this has been a very powerful offensive ball club this year. And so far they've been slowed down, so I expect them to be a little more potent here in the second half.
Well, this game kicks off our second week of high school football championship coverage here on Pro-Am Sports. Tomorrow night at 8 p.m. you can catch the Class Double D final between Lakeland and Hubble and Sand Creek, followed by the Class AA championship between Detroit Catholic Central and Saginaw Arthur Hill at 7:30 p.m. on Tuesday. Thursday night at 7:30, it's the Class Double C finals pitting Montague against Detroit St. Martin de Porres. And we wind it up on Saturday with the Class Double B clash between Oxford and Kennewa Hills at 4 p.m. Stay with us again this week as the best in high school championship sports coverage continues here on Pass. Flivvers will boot it away to start the second half of play. Kick is bobbled by Greenwood and simply covered by Marysville back at the 9. Tough field position to start the second half.
Well, just what the Flivvers of Kingsford would like as they pin Marysville deep in their own end of the field at the 8-yard line. And of course, we've already talked about how potent the two defenses have been, and this is just where you would like your defense to cause one of those key turnovers in a big game like this and hopefully turn things around for your squad.
Viking quarterback is Ben DeLore, number 11, 5'11", 160, and a junior. Gives to the first back, and while there were several linemen downfield to block, the running back never got to the line of scrimmage.
Well, number 77, Jeff Olson, the big nose guard, 6 foot, 276 pounds, a senior, kind of jamming things up there in the middle, Mark. I wonder why they didn't go anywhere.
No gain. It'll be second down and still 10 facing Marysville. Been a smash mouth football game, and the defenses are dominating. Football is loose on the field, and I think it's covered by the Flivvers.
Well, just exactly what the Flivvers wanted after that deep kickoff. Pinned Marysville at the 8. This time some mishandling of the ball on that wing T offense. A lot of faking, and it's Chris Cook from a defensive end position. Johnny on the spot. Recovers for the Flivvers. They'll have it at the 2-yard line.
Boy, I tell you, more like the 1, William. That football is almost on the 1. 1st and goal to go for Kingsford. Now in this game, that 1 yard may be hard to come by. Navarra, the big senior quarterback, leads them up. He's a 200-pounder. Gives off, and I don't think so. Thibodeau, the 225-pound senior, banged up inside. Might have picked up a foot or two. It'll be 2nd and goal.
Well, I think he got about half the distance, Mark, as you described, going over his right side guard tackle area. Good defensive work once again. Aaron Thomas down in there defensively from the nose. Kelly Marthin from his defensive tackle, and linebacker Ryan Bauer to make the stop.
John Beatty, number 62, the center, leads them up. 2nd and goal.
Well, no signal yet.
Looks like they didn't get it in again. The Flivvers want touchdown, and the officials give it to them.
Well, they had to wait for the players to unpile that time before they could tell. Let's look at it. Just a pile and a mass of humanity. What do you see? I don't see it. And the officials couldn't either, as they had to wait and peel the bodies off that pile before finally giving the raised arms as the touchdown is signaled, and 6 points on the board for the Flivvers of Kingsford.
So the turnover by Marysville costs them dearly. The Flivvers cash in for their first touchdown of the game. Extra point splits the uprights. Kingsford 10, Marysville 7. One of your network sponsors is True Value Hardware. And it's Marysville coming the other way across the 30 and out to about the 31-yard line with it is Jeremy Russell. And good field position for Marysville. They'll start 1st and 10, trailing 10-7, early 3rd quarter.
Well, that was an early turnaround, as you said, Mark, to start this second half. Kingsford coming out with a nice kickoff, a little fumble of the ball, and they take advantage then and put some points on the board. And now the Vikings' turn.
Second back over the left side is Dennis Delore. And he has pretty good yardage, about 5 yards there. Ben Delore to Dennis Delore.
Well, Dennis Delore covers up real well as he heads into the contact area.
Well, about 6 yards on the carry, and that is about as much as we've seen all day on a running play. The going has been tough.
Boy, and there's an example of just how tough. 4, 5, 6 blue shirts all around the ball carrier.
Ryan Greenwood on the carry.
Greenwood is just smothered in there. Look at the blue shirts. What a crowd he draws.
I tell you, there were players who hit him and then went off to go hit somebody else. Didn't even know he had the football. 3rd down 4 for Marysville. Oh, the quick pitch to Greenwood. Gets him around the corner. It'll depend a little on the mark, and they're going to give it to him. Mark him out to about the 44. Good for 6-7 yards and a 1st down.
Well, the Vikings say if we can't run through you, we'll get the ball out and run around you. And down the sideline goes Ryan Greenwood, picks up the 1st down. I think that's a key 1st down at this point, Mark, as Kingsford came back and got that early touchdown. And now the Vikings really need to sustain a little offense here and get their rhythm back.
First and 10. They'll try the right side to Ryan Greenwood, and boy, if he got back to the line of scrimmage, that's all. And a familiar number 31, Greg Bjork for the Flivvers there to make the stop.
Well, Greg Bjork making the stop, but at his end position, Mark Navarra also causing the ball to be turned inside. Navarra also the quarterback offensively, kind of a strange combination in football. Defensive end, all Upper Peninsula, and a starting quarterback besides.
It'll be a pass play and incomplete. Dave Jolicoeur was open out in the flats and just bounced off his hands.
Well, again, rhythm real important, as quarterback Ben Delore that time had a little collision in the backfield and then saw a defensive man right in his face, had to deliver the ball to Dave Jolicoeur before he was actually ready. Got the ball to him within catching range, but the two just could not connect. It falls incomplete.
Third down, really still 10 facing Marysville. Delore to throw. Pressure comes from behind him. Lobs it over the middle. Complete. Into Flivver territory. Ryan Greenwood has the reception. Great job by quarterback Ben Delore under pressure.
Well, Ben Delore sees the defensive man coming. It's number 34 with a bead on him. That's Brian Pipp. And he's just able to get the ball off to Ryan Greenwood as Pipp makes contact. You're right, Mark. Great bit of athletic ability by Ben Delore there to complete that pass pressure situation.
1st and 10 Marysville, down now at the 37 of Kingsford. Little fake reverse this time. And down the sideline, Ryan Greenwood fights his way inside the 30 and down near the sticks, almost a 10-yard gain before all is said and done.
Well, Mike Rakitic with a big hit over here on the sidelines right there, and he's disgusted with himself because the ball carrier did not go down. Ryan Greenwood kind of bounced off, spun around, picked up another 5 yards.
Going to be 2nd down, still about a yard. And bouncing off tacklers, Dennis Delore still on his feet. Knocked out of bounds at the 11. They never did take Dennis Delore down.
Well, once again, a good bit of power running. This time it's Dennis Delore. He powers up inside, gets a lot of contact here. Strides through, keeps his legs churning. Shakes off another tackle there. Shakes off another big hit by Mike Rakitic again, and down the sidelines, big gainer, puts the Vikings at about the 12-yard line.
Well, are we seeing Mr. Momentum do a little shift here, maybe? Marysville's had trouble moving the ball all day. There's some movement left side, and that'll be a 5-yard penalty against the Vikings. Instead of 1st and 10, they'll look at 1st and 15. 6:35 still to play in our 3rd quarter. Kingsford 10, Marysville 7. Been a good, hard-fought football game.
Well, just as you described, Mark, a bit of momentum building for the Vikings, and all of a sudden the penalty moves them back now. 1st and 15.
It's a funny little offensive set. And they'll do the quick hitter. Banging inside the 5 is Dennis Delore.
Well, the same play this time to the other side. Good hard running by Dennis Delore. He's 5'10", 220 pounds, and he uses all 220 as he just runs over people. Andy LeBlanc right there, the victim at the end of that run, as Dennis Delore just lowered his shoulder and leveled him.
2nd down and about 2. Marysville could get a 1st down at the 2. Same play again, and that looks like 1st down yardage. Going to be 1st and goal for the Vikings inside the 2 of Kingsford.
Well, Dennis Delore just pounding up the middle, and that's one of the strong parts for the Flivver defense. Jeff Olson, the big nose man in there. The 2 linebackers, Greg Bjork and Judd Holzel, 2 seniors at those linebacker spots. Boy, and the Vikings are just pounding away up there in the middle.
Well, we're going to measure this, but they've got it by a full length of the football. So it is first down. It's almost as if Marysville says, forget the deception. We're just going to run power for a while.
We're coming right over you, exactly.
Well, one would guess that Walt Braun is going to say that play's been working. Let's run it again right here.
Well, I got to believe that you force a team to stop what's working for you before you go to something else. Let's take a look at it.
Same formation. Same back. And they're going to mark him short. He spun into the end zone, but I think they're going to mark him at about the 1 foot line. Dennis Delore doing the heavy work for the Marysville Vikings. It's 2nd and goal. You see just how close it is.
Well, I'm going to guess once again we'll see that play. I think Dennis Delore will take it. You have to figure out which side he's going to come on, right or left, but it's right over the center and the guard area. This time it should be to his offensive right side.
Boy, I tell you, great job defensively, and they stack him up and take him down. 3rd and goal.
Well, down underneath you see Big Jeff Olson, and then coming over the top, Judd Holzel and Mike Rakitic get a shoulder on Dennis Delore, and he's not able to penetrate that end zone as the nose of the ball just inches away.
Here we go, 3rd and goal. Quarterback keeper stretching into the end zone. Ben Delore with the TD, and Marysville back out front.
Well, I'm not sure Ben Delore got it with his first surge. The quarterback sneak, everybody looking once again for his brother Dennis Delore. This time Ben elects to keep the ball on the QB sneak. Doesn't get in with his first effort, but his second surge, he's able to squeeze over the top, stretch out with his arms, and the officials coming in. There you can see him laying over a defender. The official stretches his arms and puts up the 6 points.
Berger will try the extra point. Rips it through the uprights. And with 4:25 still to play in the 3rd quarter, Marysville back out front by 4, 14-10. Well, the reason school activity programs such as athletics, music, and drama are so effective is because you have so many students wanting to pursue these activities on their own time. They're also cost effective because they involve a large segment of the students, teachers, and community while spending less than 2% of the school budget. We hope you will support your local school activity program.
Well, an impressive drive by the Marysville Vikings after that disastrous turnover deep in their own end of the field had allowed the Kingsford Flivvers to take the lead. They march it right back down the field by way of some excellent running plays, getting their offensive running rhythm going here, and go back out in front now, 14-10.
Dennis Delore doesn't get the touchdown, but does do most of the work on that drive for Marysville. 10 carries now, 57 yards for Dennis Delore. Says the Dinger working stats for us tonight. And Marysville will boot it away. Little squibber, boy, great squibber hopping around. Finally picked up by Rakitic. Tough guy to bring down. He's across the 30 and near the 31-yard line before he's wrestled to the turf. And the Flivvers will start 1st and 10 there.
Well, that kickoff, a tough one to handle, an ugly kick as coaches describe it, bouncing around, went between one player's legs, went high in the air, ends up in probably the hands of the best back out there, Mike Rakitic, and he's able to bring it back a little bit, and the Flivvers will start at the 31.
Mark Novara, number 7, the quarterback for Kingsford, has a bevy of running backs who work behind him. This time it's Greg Bjork on the carry, and he's forward for 6 or 7 yards.
Well, Greg Bjork with some nifty footwork as he found a small seam and was able to pull out of the grasp of a tackler that had him around the ankle. picks up some good yards. Makes it second down, about 4.
Not much doing on the quick hitter, as they showed us a little motion that time.
Credit Aaron Thomas from his nose position once again as he stacks up the offensive center. Just no place for that running play to go up there in the middle. You either have to go over that pile or around it, and by the time you can do that, there's plenty of other white jerseys in the area to put the stopper on it.
Well, they have a couple of big power backs at Kingsford. Thibodeau, 5'6", 225, and the carry that time, Jason Gendron, 5'8", 230. Off right side, spinning away from one tackle is Mike Olson, but more white jerseys are there to knock him down. He's short of the sticks, and it's 4th down, still a long one.
And John Wright from his linebacker spot once again. Great flow to the ball, and there you see him come over the top of a blocker and one of his own teammates in order to make the tackle and keep the ball carrier short of the 1st down. Just some great defensive play by John Wright, the senior linebacker, 175-pounder, hits like a freight train.
And the Flivvers say we're going right now. 4th down and a yard in their own territory at the 40. I don't think so. Not going to get there. The Marysville Viking defense stops Kingsford and takes over in Kingsford territory.
Well, once again, John Wright is there. I also see number 72, Don Wilson, in there to make part of the stop. Great defensive play, and what a gamble by the Flivvers, and it doesn't pay off for them this time, as the Vikings take possession at the almost the 40-yard line of Kingsford.
Marysville marched smartly last time they had the football. Ryan Greenwood trying to turn the corner, dragged out of bounds at the 17. Gain is 23 yards. 1st and 10 Marysville.
Oh, great bit of running by Ryan Greenwood. He has to find his way back across the green, as once he gets through the line of scrimmage, there's nothing but blue jerseys. Now he just turns the tails around and goes the other direction. But the only guy on the Flivvers that could catch him finally got over there. Mike Rakitic pulls him out of bounds, but not before big yards and a 1st down.
Wing T right and slashing forward is Dennis Delore. Inside the 15, down to the 13. Gain of 4. It'll be 2nd and 6.
Matt Tappy on the stop that time. Mark, you begin to get the feeling that the Vikings have got some offensive rhythm here as they're running inside with the big power back, Dennis Delore. They're getting outside with Ryan Greenwood, and they just seem to have their offense under control right now.
2nd down play. Forward and into the 5-yard line is Dennis Delore. Almost squirts free and scores the 6.
Boy, Greg Bjork from his linebacker spot, just 177 pounds, and Dennis Delore just able to drag him for about an extra 3 or 4 yards. After the initial contact, the ball ends up at the 5. 1st and goal.
Well, the Flivvers going to have to suck it up right here as they are backed up against their own goal line. Marysville tries Delore left side. He's tripped up as he crosses the 5 down near the 3. Jeff Olson, the big nose tackle, got a hand on the ball carrier, knocked him down. It's 2nd and goal. Half a minute still to play in this 3rd quarter. It's a 14-10 game. Marysville out front by 4, but threatening to tack on some more. The big guy fights his way into the end zone. Dennis Delore, a power run off left side, and it's 20-10. Marysville leads by 10.
Well, what a classic run by Dennis Delore. Takes the handoff from his brother at the 5-yard line, Meets just defender after defender, head on, spins, drives, keeps his body in the air, keeps that positive body lean, falls into the end zone, tacks another 6 on the scoreboard for the Vikings. What a great power run. Great camera work down on the field also. Got a great chance to see that one.
Snap is down in the turf, but bounces up into the holder's hands, and the kick is up and good. And with a dozen seconds remaining here in the third quarter, Marysville strikes for back-to-back touchdowns, and they lead by 11, 21-10. Well, you can make the grade in your community by helping youngsters enjoy the values taught through interscholastic sports competition. Coaches and officials are always needed in all sports. It's your call. For more information, contact your local high school athletic director or the Michigan High School Athletic Association in East Lansing. And Bill, you as an athletic director know how important it is to find good quality officials, and we always need them.
And Mark, it's getting harder and harder, not because there are no good officials, it's because all of the athletic programs in our schools are increasing with the advent of more and more girls competition. We are looking for officials all the time, and we encourage people to sign up, grab a whistle, get involved. It's a great thing to do. You'll have fun and do your community a great service.
Dave Berger will kick it off. No, he won't. It's an onside kick. Well, a little razzle-dazzle by Marysville as Berger lined up to kick off, and Jeremy Russell cut across in front of him, knocked it sideways. Pretty good onside, actually. Bounced up in the air well, but the Flivvers staying home, pick it off, and get super field position. They'll start at their own 48.
Well, an alert play by the front line for the Flivvers on that kick receive team, as you coach your young men up to take that ball when that happens and fall on it right there. And that's just what they did. Good starting position for the Flivvers.
Last play of this third quarter is a pass complete to Bjork. Breaks a tackle, has a first down into Marysville territory, down at the 39. We finished 3 quarters here at the Silverdome. 21-10, Marysville out front. This is the MHSAA on pass. Well, from the sidelines, Marysville out front 21-10 as we get set to start quarter number 4. Kingsford down by 11, but they have the football. 1st and 10 at the 39 of Marysville. Novara wants to throw. Pressures on, fumbles the football, still loose on the field, and eventually Rakitic grabs the football, and it's a loss of about 10.
Boy, no chance at all for Mark Novara as he drops back to pass. He's already running for his life, and just no way he can escape the grasp out there of Mark Kaza. He's 6 foot and 200 pounds, just a sophomore, and he had his sights set on Mark Novara that time, able to pull him down. The ball popped loose, but the Flivvers were able to recover and hang on to the ball.
Well, a critical possession here for Kingsford. Marysville has driven and scored on back-to-back possessions to take the 11-point lead, and the Flivvers need something here. Incomplete. I think the football may have been tipped at the line of scrimmage as Novara delivered it, and it ends up well behind Chris Pietrantonio, the wide receiver.
Very good. Very good. I'm proud of you.
Pietrantonio. There are some mighty fine names on this Kingsford Flivver club, aren't there? 3rd down 20. Boy, they play good football, though. Tell you that.
They sure do.
Right now on the short end of a 21-10 score. Get a little time this time, and delivered right on the money by Novara, but Andy LeBlanc really hadn't made his cut yet.
Well, Andy LeBlanc had to dive out and try to get it, and the ball was right there as Mark Navarra delivers the ball like a bullet. And Andy LeBlanc just not able to bring it in on his fingertips. The ball with just a little too much velocity on it. Good play, good pass route, just did not connect.
And on 4th down 20, Kingsford going to have to punt. Fletcher gets away another dandy. Going to be fielded back inside the 10. Fumble! Marked at the 1. Let's see who's. Oh, Marysville manages to cover the football at the 1.
Oh, my. Another one of those muffed punts. That's the term that's used when a punt return man does not field the ball cleanly. That could not be advanced, but it certainly could have been recovered. And what a break that could have been for the Flivvers. As it is, Marysville will start with the ball at their own 1-yard line, and you can bet that the defense for the Flivvers will have their guns loaded and their ears pinned back, and here they come.
Flivvers will be looking for some penetration. Ben Delore leads them up, gives it off, and good yardage, 5 yards out across the 5 to the 6 or 7 yard line with it. Goes the ball carrier, big Dennis Delore.
Well, he's a load.
Out of a hole.
He's a load, and what a weapon to have when you're pinned deep like that, just right straight up ahead. Dennis Delore finally tackled by Judd Holzel from his linebacker spot, but a little bit of breathing room now for the Vikings.
2nd down 4 for Marysville, and even 10 minutes still to play in this one. And movement on the offensive line, and we're going half the distance backward toward the goal. So we'll go back to about the 3.5 and look at 2nd down and about 7 again.
Well, a delayed snap count by Ben Delore that time. The Flivvers defensively jumping all over the place, did not penetrate the neutral zone, and finally one of the offensive linemen for the Vikings picks up a hand, and that's the false start offensively and marches back the Vikings about 5 yards.
Mark the football just inside the 4. And we'll call it 2nd and about 7. Ben Delore gives off this time to Greenwood, and Greenwood, good carry, has the 1st down. Bill, you and I talked about it before the game, kind of a Mr. Inside, Mr. Outside combination for Marysville. Didn't work in the first half, but here in the second half, they've been diving the big guy, Dennis Delore, and then countering with Ryan Greenwood, the tailback.
And I think, Mark, as you say, the key is Dennis Delore pounding inside, drawing the defense down inside, and then the little guy, Ryan Greenwood, he snaps it outside and is able to pick up good yardage.
Inside this time to Greenwood.
And just as we say that, they change it around a little bit and give it to Greenwood on the inside. Little inside counter play, and Greenwood able to pick out about another 5 yards.
Well, the Vikings have got it working here in the second half. Trying to capture the school's 2nd state football championship. They were winners here in the Dome back in 1986. Trying to come wide, Greenwood. Not even Greenwood, I'm sorry, it's Mark Miller, 28, first carry for Mark Miller.
Well, Mark Miller with a little stop and go as he brings the ball to the outside. There's that deception on the inside, keeps the linebackers home. Here comes Mark Miller to the outside, stops, comes back in, now back outside again, turns that into a big gainer for the Vikings. Nice bit of running by Mark Miller, 5'8", 160 pounds, and just a junior.
1st and 10 for Marysville as they continue to eat away at the clock. Same play.
Same play, same little move by Mark Miller as he gives a little hesitation as he gets to the outside and then turns the speed back on and gets to the outside and is able to turn the corner.
Coach, you can tell Walt Braun, the head football coach at Marysville's been around for a while. Can't you? Play works once. He says, we're going to run that again.
We'll do that again.
And we'll do something different. They may run it again right here. Picked up 7 that time. It's 2nd and 3. Basically same thing again as Miller comes this side of the field, only picks up a couple.
Well, that one designed to go inside a little bit more, as that was the inside counter by Mark Miller. Ball faked originally to the right side of the offense, 2 offensive backs going in that direction, and then Mark Miller coming back inside takes the ball from Ben DeLore and tries to cut inside. But a lot of the Flivvers stayed at home defensively, just as we've talked about. They've seen that offense before. Well-schooled defensively. They were there to make the stop.
Flivvers need a stop right here. It's 3rd down 1. Well, they had it initially, and on second effort, I think Dennis DeLore is going to have the first down. It's very close. They're going to mark him at the 42. The sticks are also at the 42. And we're going to measure this one.
Well, good bit of line surge once again defensively by the Flivvers, and it's the second effort of big Dennis DeLore with his 220 pounds that gets him up there close to the first down. We'll wait and see, but it looks like from up here, Mark, he has made it.
Yeah, by half a football. Exactly. Marysville 1st and 10. The clock shows 8:15 and counting. They lead 21-10 here at the Silverdome Class B state championship game. It was 7-3 at the half. And the officials are going to stop things for a minute. An equipment problem for one of the Kingsford players. Well, lots of great high school football coming up this week here on Pass. This is the 4th champion we've crowned on Pass, and I tell you, the next 4 games will have a hard time beating the first 4. Portland St. Pat beat Frankfort 34-13. Reeves Puffer scored in the final half minute to beat Walled Lake 21-18, and then Traverse City St. Francis in double overtime took the C crown. I wasn't sure who had the football for a minute there, but Ryan Greenwood carries around right end. And
well, there was some great faking, Mark, as you mentioned. I didn't know who had it either. We had a back coming in each direction and one right up the middle. It was Ryan Greenwood that ended up with it. Our cameraman wasn't fooled. He's right there. But there was a flag on the play. And I see that the Vikings are beginning to move back towards their end of the field. And it's a big one.
That was Tony up here, and he didn't have any trouble with that. Followed it all the way.
He knew where that was every minute, didn't he?
Well, they're going to march it all the way back to the 25, and this is what the Flivvers need, certainly. Force Marysville to do something more than just 10 yards in 3 plays. They're going to make them go 26, 27. It's 1st and 27. And the clock you just saw there is Kingsford's biggest enemy right now. Try the draw play, and I tell you, Dennis DeLore doesn't want to go down.
He takes some blows out there as the initial contact was there just as he got the handoff. Didn't slow him down at all as he just kept his legs pounding and didn't make a lot of big yardage, but very difficult to bring down.
Chris Cook and Judd Holzel were both there on the stop, among others. Gain is about 5. It'll be 2nd and 22. Kingsford needs a touchdown, 2-point conversion, and field goal to tie. Marysville to throw. Pressure's coming, and loss of 5 or 6. Neither team has been able to send a quarterback into the pocket, stand back there, look over the field, and throw.
By the time they get back and set their feet, there are defenders right in front and on both sides. Just great defensive ball control as far as not allowing the quarterback any time or room to roll and throw the ball.
If you were quarterback Ben DeLore, how would you have liked to gone back there, set up, and your first sight as you pick your head up and look upfield is big Jeff Olson, 6 foot, 276 pounds, rumbling right straight at you.
That's like a tree right in front of you.
3rd down, 27. Marysville with 2 wide outs. And Delore will roll, wants to throw, is wrapped up and sacked.
Same thing once again, Mark, just no place to go. Ben Delore retreats and just cannot even look up to begin to find a receiver as he's running for his life as soon as he turns his head down the field.
First guy there was Mark Navarra, number 7, got plenty of help from his friends. It is 4th and 37.
That's 4th and a new zip code, as they say, right?
Holy cow. And timeout is called by Marysville as they stand back inside their own 10 to punt. 5:30 still to play here. It's 21-10. Marysville leads. One of your network sponsors is Health Alliance Plan. Mark Crawford, Bill Brandell back with you from the Silverdome. 21-10. Marysville leads with 5.5 still to play, but Kingsford about to get the football back. Marysville will punt on 4th and 37. Oh my, they aren't showing punt. They're up at the line of scrimmage on 4th and 37. Sprinting back and taking the safety is Ben Delore. Well, that's what the timeout was for, obviously, as the Vikings decide the 2 points aren't going to hurt them. And they would rather free kick it from the 20 than stand back in punt formation. And so the safety taken by Marysville brings our score to 21-12.
Well, the Flivvers have put good pressure on the punter from Marysville, and so you are not used to seeing that, where a team will elect to take a safety against themselves, give their opponent 2 points. But as you described, Mark, this does allow a free kick situation from the 20-yard line, so the Vikings may put it in play by the punt, or they may place kick it. Most teams elect to punt the ball. And it appears that's what's going to happen here, as Dennis Delore is waiting to get the ball from our official.
And the 2 points does not bring Kingsford within a touchdown. They are still down by 9.
Actually, a touchdown and a 2-point conversion still leaves them 1 point behind. So good bit of thinking, good bit of strategy.
Dennis Delore is the gentleman who will boot it away for Marysville. Kingsford stands to get the football in pretty good field position here. Well, we'll need to march downfield, score, and probably will need to onside kick at that point if they want to win this football game. One thing that likely has happened here is, I would guess, overtime has been eliminated now. Kick will be fielded by the Flivvers Rakitic. And he's going to fight his way to midfield and into Marysville territory. And they'll mark it at the 49, so good field position for the Kingsford Flivvers. And if you were wondering, they do have all 3 timeouts remaining.
Well, we're getting late into this ball game, Mark, and as we described early, the Marysville squad plays 2 complete different units, offensively and defensively. They might be a little bit fresher than are the Flivvers.
Kingsford, with no one in the backfield, trips to the left side. And Mark Navarra couldn't even run that pass play without the pressure getting to him. He stepped back, wanted to throw it to Rakitic, who I think was in turn going to throw the football off a lateral. But there is some motion anyway, and well, Jeremy Russell was right over there in Mike Rakitic's face. He was just hoping that Mike Navarra would throw the ball over there. He'd have had a great shot at that one, and of course nobody in front of him had he been able to pick it off. But flags flying as teams not set, I believe, and we'll get a 5-yard penalty marked off against Kingsford. So it is 1st and 15 for the Flivvers. And they'll return to a little more of a normal look. Well, they'd love to get some time for their quarterback, and they do this time. Finds a receiver out in the flats, but LeBlanc can't hang on as he slides down to the turf trying to catch the low fastball.
Well, Mark Navarra delivers the ball a little bit behind Andy LeBlanc. And LeBlanc not able to retreat quick enough and get back to the ball before it's on the turf.
Yeah, it actually bounced up to him on the replay, we could see. And it is 2nd down and 15. That is the first time I can remember Mark Navarro really being able to stand back in the pocket, look for a receiver and throw it. And he's not going to get to do it this time.
Well, I think the Vikings said, well, we let you do that once, but we're not going to let you do that again. Mark Navarro getting up a little bit slow. That was a big hit defensively. Let's take a look at it again. Navarro retreats to the pocket. You can see the outside defender coming just full boat. Mark Kaza, one of the defenders in there, and number 34 also on a good strong charge. Skip Willoughby, we've called his number a couple of times. He was not one of our starters defensively, but he's been very active from a defensive end position. He's still in there.
3rd and 20. Navarro has the screen, gets his man Rakitic, but well defensed by Marysville. Everybody staying home.
Jeremy Russell from a cornerback position, keeping his eye on number 5, Mark Rakitic. The pass complete, but Jeremy Russell there to make the stop for a loss.
4th down 23, and with 3:45 to play, I think if you're Kingsford, you have no choice but to go for it here.
And all of a sudden, Mark, the two defenses have taken over again in this ball game. We saw the offense getting a little bit of rhythm, getting the ball moving on the part of both teams, and all of a sudden now defensively, just domination here as both teams moving backwards when they have possession of the ball.
4th down, over the middle and well over the head of Greg Bjork, the intended receiver. And on downs the football goes over to Marysville, and the Vikings simply need to eat up 3 minutes and 17 seconds, and they will win the Class B State Football Championship. Our special thanks go out during today's broadcast to the people behind the scenes who make it all possible. We would especially like to thank Tarleton Small and Jim Lilly of the Pontiac Public Schools, who have done an excellent job organizing this year's finals, and all their assistants who have put in long hours to make it all possible. And our thanks as well, Bill Brandell, to John Johnson and Jack Roberts of the MHSAA. Always a pleasure for us to come to these football finals. 1st and 10, Marysville. Dennis Delore, left side, is a load, and he's got 8 or 9 more.
Boy, Dennis Delore just hanging onto the ball with both arms. Let's just watch him wrap the ball up as soon as contact comes. Now he just takes on about 3 or 4 tacklers. Somebody with a face mask there, but officials couldn't see it. But he hauls about 3 people with him on his back.
Clock counting down inside 2:45 now. 21-12, Marysville leads by 9, and they have the football. 2 yards away from a 1st down here. And not quite yet. The Flivver defense stiffens, and it'll be 3rd down. Well, I'll tell you, you can't say enough about both defenses today, Bill, as both Kingsford and Marysville came to play defense.
Well, a new unit now comes on the field offensively for the Vikings. Probably their number 2 offense. Number 12 in there at quarterback. He'll call the signals. That's Bill Grant.
On 3rd and 1. Oh, nifty move by Miller. Looked like Miller was going to be pinned behind the line of scrimmage. Just deked inside, went outside, and picks up the 1st.
Well, and that's quite a ball player that he put the little move on. Greg Bjork, an outstanding linebacker. And he just could not get enough arm on Mark Miller. Miller makes it to the outside, picks up the 1st down, and that gives this second offensive unit for the Vikings a chance to run the ball a few more times.
Dive play, banging up the middle is Dave Jolie Kerr. And he's forward for 5 or 6 yards as the clock marches down to 1:20. Kingsford has all 3 timeouts, but no indication that they're going to use them. Rushing totals for Marysville: Dennis Delore, 18 carries, 95 yards. Ryan Greenwood, 16 carries for 88. Most of that damage coming here in the second half. Well, right up the middle and stood up is the Marysville ball carrier. I think it was Paul Posios, but never did see for sure.
Well, a lot of new numbers in the game once again, both offensively and defensively. Both coaches trying to get their young men into this state championship game. That's a great thing to see.
Well, there are 12 guys on defense. See if somebody throws a flag. They do. The Kingsford players knew it. They were all looking around trying to figure out where to go. And someone came on the field, nobody left, and that's illegal participation.
Well, and now two more come on, and here come three off. So they finally figured out who doesn't belong out there. Clock down to just 17 seconds left in this one.
Nice round of applause. The fans on both sides expressing appreciation to their teams. And when you get to the Silverdome, there aren't any losers, boy. If you can play through the entire season and battle your way to a state championship game, you haven't lost much. And both these teams played very well today. First and goal for Marysville. This should be the last play of the game. They will try right side. Miller knocked down at the 5, and that's going to do it. Well, two wing T football teams, both love to run the football. Played to a dead heat in the first half, but Marysville came out second half, figured things out, tacked back-to-back touchdowns together, gave up the late safety, but it's the Vikings of Marysville who are your Class B state champions. They defeat Kingsford 21-12. This is the MHSAA on Pass. Back at the Silverdome, the Vikings of Marysville go 12-1 and bring a state championship to that man, Walt Braun. And the smile on Walt's face. Marysville 21, Kingsford 12, and Dan Flynn, the athletic director from Escanaba, will hand out the trophies and medals to very deserving ball clubs. Bill, good Class B final.
Well, this was an excellent football game, Mark. We saw two wing T football teams just going toe-to-toe with each other, two great defensive squads. A little bit of a strange game, actually, as we saw momentum swing back and forth, not just between team to team, but also offense to defense.
Bill, let's pass along our approval of the new state championship trophies. Those are sharp.
Oh, those are beauties.
There, the Kingsford Flivvers finished their season 11-2. But Chris Hofer has got things going with that program. 3 straight years. They find themselves in the playoffs. 33-5 in the last 3 years. Twice in the finals, and their day will come. But this year, it's the Vikings of Marysville who are the Class B state champions. We will be back at the Dome. One of your network sponsors is Farm Bureau Insurance. Marysville get a pass in the second half. We're back at the Dome. You look down at the Marysville Vikings as they hold a team meeting. State champions 21-12 the final score here. I'm Mark Crawford along with Bill Brandell. Glad you were with us for this one. Really very entertaining football game, Bill.
Well, it was, Mark. It's interesting from the standpoint, once again, of the defenses trying to stop offenses that they were very familiar with. They did a great job of it early in the ball game. Then we saw the offense get a little momentum going. We saw both teams moving the ball. Then all of a sudden, back defensively, stops again. Offensive teams going backwards as we saw momentum just kind of swing back and forth. But very entertaining ball game. Two excellent ball teams.
Real difference in this ball game came fairly early in the second half when Marysville on back-to-back possessions scored touchdowns. This is the
pass play in
this is a Viking touchdown in the first
half. And once again, the screen pass
out to Ryan Greenwood.
Ben Delore eluding that defender back there, able to get the pass off, and then a fine run by Ryan Greenwood down the sidelines as he scores the touchdown. That was in the first half. One of the few plays in the first half for big yardage.
Yeah, it really was an entertaining football game, and our congratulations to Marysville, the state champions. One of your network sponsors is Big Boy Restaurants. Back at the Silverdome, Mark Crawford, Bill Brandell, glad you were with us on the Michigan High School Athletic Association's championship football coverage here on Pro-Am Sports. Been a great first day of activity. We've seen 4 champions crowned, and throughout this coming week you'll see 4 more crowned here on Pass. All of the double-digit classes, I guess you would say, are yet to come.
Well, the larger schools in each class, right, Mark? Another day tomorrow of those championship games. They're going to have a hard time to match what we've seen today.
All right, Bill, we have an officials camp piece we want to show folks here. It's not unusual to think of how many families pack up their kids and send them off to camp every summer for athletic activity. But the MHSAA has also gotten into the act by initiating summer camps to help improve the quality of officiating in the state. Rick Berkey reports. As a junior high athletic director.
Well, exactly, Mark. As the numbers of participants in our schools increase, so do the number of teams that we have, and that means more scheduling. That means more officials are needed, and I'd encourage anybody who has ever had any interest at all in looking into the idea of becoming a high school or junior high school athletic official.
Well, you look at some of the faithful here from Marysville, not wanting to leave the Silverdome. Their club wins the Class B state championship 21-12. Tomorrow night, our coverage of the 1992 MHSAA football finals continues here on Pro-Am Sports with the Class Double D championship game at 8 p.m. between Lake Linden-Hubble and Sand Creek. Stay with us as we again bring you the best in high school sports coverage all week long here on Pass. For Bill Brandell, I'm Mark Crawford. Thanks for joining us. Your Class B state champions, the Vikings of Marysville.